We're given three matrices and we want to do some algebra on these matrices. So the first problem is we want to take matrix A and subtract twice of matrix C. So if I copy these down, that is 3, -1, 5, 7, 2, -6, and subtract 2 of C's, 4, 0, 9, -8, -13, 0. Adding and subtracting matrices, they have to be the same dimensions or size. This is 2 by 3, 2 by 3, so it's allowed. We can add, subtract with these. So first we need to multiply by the coefficient, and with a matrix, that means just multiply each term of the matrix by that number. So that's going to now be 8, 0, 18, -16, -26, and 0 when I multiply all those by 2. And then now I just need to subtract corresponding entries. 3 minus 8 is -5. -1 minus 0 is still -1. 5 minus 18 is -13. And now for the second row, 7 minus a -16. So remember that would be plus 16, so that's positive 23. Similarly here, 2 minus a negative, that would be add 26 to get 28. And then finally, -6 minus 0 is -6. The next two are multiplications. Multiplications are a little bit trickier. So the matrices that we have here to multiply are matrix A times matrix B. Now you notice that these are different dimensions. If I were going to add, I'd have a problem. I couldn't do it. This one is a 2 by 3 matrix, 2 rows, 3 columns. This one is a 3 by 2 matrix. To be able to multiply matrices, these middle numbers have to match. And since they do, that means we are allowed to do this multiplication. You can also see, if you use the outside numbers, the resulting matrix is going to end up being a 2 by 2. Okay, now with the matrix multiplication, it's a little bit trickier. Let me first write it here. As you go across the row in your first matrix, you multiply by the respective elements of the column in the second matrix. Row by column. So that would be 3 times 7, which is 21. And then I'm going to add -1 times 2 is -2. And then add 5 times 0 is 0. All of those things added together gives me just the first entry of my matrix. Now, for the second entry, this is in the first column, the second row. Sorry, the first row, the second column. So I have to use the first row and the second column. 3 times 0 is 0. -1 times -1 is 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, two separate entries. Here I used first row, first column, first row, second column. Now I need the entry in the second row, first column. So I use second row, first column. 7 times 7 is 49. 2 times 2 is 4. -6 times 0 is 0. And finally, the last spot is second row, second column. 7 times 0 is 0. 2 times -1 is -2. And -6 times 1 is -6. I'll squeeze it in there. Now just add up those respective entries. 21 plus a -2 is subtract 2 to get 19. 1 plus 5 plus 0 is 6. 49 plus 4 is 53. And -2 plus -6 and 0 is -8. All right, now the last one, same idea, another multiplication. This time we get different matrices. We still use B, but this time it's first. And we want to try to multiply that by C. So first let's make sure this is possible. This is a 3 by 2, and this one is a 2 by 3. The middle dimensions match, so it's possible. And at the end, I'm going to end up with a 3 by 3. This one's a little bit bigger. So I need the first row times the first column. 7 times 4 is 28. This is 0. Now I move over to first row, second column. 7 times 0 is 0. Ooh, a negative 13 times 0 is 0. And now first row, third column. 7 times 9 is 63. 0 times 0 is 0. Okay, now second of my rows times the first column. That's 8 plus an 8, because minus a minus is plus. 0 minus a minus again, with my multiply gives me positive 13. And then the last entry here, 9 times 2 is 18, plus 0. And then we're ready to move to the final row. Oh good, another 0. Zeros are awesome. 0 times 4 is 0. 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. I'm going to get 0 minus 13, and 0 plus 0. Simplifying each of those entries, we get 28. 0, 63 for the first row, 16, 13, 18 for the second row, and negative 8, negative 13, 0 for the final row. And we do have a 3 by 3 at the end.